Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is probably going to be my favorite tutorial I do this whole year because it's always one of the most exciting times of the year for me, and I just finished filming with all of the brand new Bare Minerals holiday collection for 2017. So this was my first time using the products. I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. I'm happy with it. This is a very wearable holiday look, definitely Christmas appropriate even though it's a little early. But yeah, I'm in love with every product I used, and if you're interested to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Hey guys, so to get started, I'm going to be taking the Bare Minerals Good Hydration Primer. This is actually the first time I've used this, so I'm really excited. I've been wanting one for a while, and so I finally picked one up, and we're going to see how it does. And I apologize if you can see it, but my skin is so dry right now that I have like some weird patchiness going on right there, and if you can see that, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to apply a good layer of this prior to our foundation so that it's not sticking in any weird places. All I've done before this was I washed my face and just applied my moisturizer. And it feels really good. It's not maybe quite as hydrating as my Bare Minerals oil, so I think I will use a little bit of that too on top. So I'm going to take the Bare Minerals Mineralixer and just put a couple drops of the oil, just because my face has been extremely dry these past few days. And I think it's because I've been kind of lazy about wearing makeup, and sometimes when I just leave my skin plain, I feel like it has more of a tendency to dry out. And those of you that watch my videos regularly know that this oil actually has a new packaging, and it's called the Eternalixer now, and mine is just the older packaging. And I have had this for forever, and I still have like that much of it, but it doesn't take much. But to me, it's definitely probably the best thing if you have super dry skin to apply underneath the foundation. And I just kind of pat it in. I used to rub it in, and then I watched a video and they recommended that you pat it, so that's what I started trying instead. So now I'm going to go ahead and just get some face makeup on first. And so I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals BarePRO Liquid Foundation. This is the best and ultimate coverage foundation that I've ever had. And so I'm just going to apply that. I'm using the Juvia's Place J103 the flat buffer brush. I've really been liking this lately, and I just went ahead and put the makeup into the brush, and I'm just going to begin to blend it on. I love this makeup, and as I said, super full coverage, which I really like, especially since I've had some redness and weird texture going on here lately. But I do feel it's very easy to get too much, so I like to start slow. So you saw I only got one pump of this foundation, so I find it better to start very slowly and then kind of build up the coverage as you go along. So I'm just blending that in, and actually I don't really think I need another pump. I think one will do it, which I don't really know with this foundation specifically, but I know for the bare skin that those really were Bare Minerals instructions, like 1 to 2 drops should do the whole face. And so the pump of this even gives you a little bit more, so I still say 1 to 2 drops max should really cover everything. And now I'm going to go in. I don't want concealer to be too heavy, so I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Stroke of Light in Luminous 2, and I'm just going to do that underneath my eyes and then use it to highlight some areas as well. And so I'm just going to start in with this. Nose, forehead, chin, and right there. And I actually might have underestimated how pasty pale I am right now. So I'm also going to take a little bit of Stroke of Light Luminous 1 and mix that in. Okay. And I'm just going to blend that out with a beauty blender. This is not damp. I mean, I prefer that it be damp, but I forgot to wet it before I sat down. So this will work. You could also use your finger or any type of concealer brush. I'm not a big concealer anyway. A lot of times it's something that I can just skip if I'm not doing like a complete look. Like today I want it to be very full glam, so I want to have it all done. But I feel like the Beauty Blender kind of soaks a lot of it up and gives the most natural look. But if I really am trying to cover or hide something I wanted to cover with my under eyes, I would probably just use a concealer brush. And I like the Bare Minerals Maximum Coverage Concealer brush if I was going to do that. And so now that I've got this on, I'm going to go in and set it. And I'm just going to I feel like I'm sitting crooked. I'm sorry if I look crooked. There we go. And then I'm going to go in and set with the BarePRO powder in Champagne, which, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you guys, that's also what I used for the liquid makeup too. And so I'm going to be taking that on the Bare Minerals Precision Face Brush, and I have the tiny little travel size, but they also make a full handled one too. And so I'm just going to start in with that to set everything. I have been so excited to film this tutorial for you guys, and it's been eating me alive because I brought all these products home a few weeks ago, and I have not touched any of them prior to today because I wanted them to look new and fresh when I used them for the first time on camera, and so we can see what we think together. The only thing I will say, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I totally opened the lipstick and used it and put it back in the box, and it's beautiful. And I actually posted about it, so you'll know that part, but all the other stuff is fresh and brand new, and so I've been trying to wait patiently, and it has been hard, so that's why I filmed today, and I'm not sure when I will get this edited and up, but at least now I can use the stuff. Okay, and so now that I've set with that powder, I am going to go in and start on the eyes now. I just wanted to make sure that we had some base down for the face. And so I'm going to be taking the Bare Minerals Primetime Eyelid Primer, and this is just the original one. This is my holy grail for not allowing anything to crease or move throughout the day, but I will say that if you're in a hurry, I do prefer to use my 5-in-1s if I'm not going to apply any more shadow. So I'm just going to blend this on all the way. I try to put the majority on the lid, and then I will work my way up. And like I said, I'm so sorry about this dry skin on this one eyelid. I don't know why my skin has been so dry. I've been having some breakouts and trying to combat those, and you know, it's like the more you try to combat, then the drier everything seems to get. And so I'm going to, I forgot to plug my light in. There we go. So now that the light is on my mirror, and we have primed our eyelids, I'm going to be taking the Bare Minerals Hidden Treasure eyeshadow palette. And this is so pretty. You get more shadows than the spring palette that I have a tutorial on as well, but they are a smaller pan size, so just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. But here it is. It's still in the wrapper. Oh my goodness. I think it's a really nice range of warm and cool and everything else. And so I can't wait to start. And for those of you that have been around Bare Minerals for a long time, there's like some really exciting shades. Like there's a Queen Tiffany matte shadow right here, and then I was really excited about this black VIP shade because if you've watched a lot of my tutorials too, you've also seen me use this, which is embarrassing how old it is, honestly, and that I still have colors left, but I just jump around all over the place with what I use. But VIP came in this, and clearly it was my favorite shadow out of everything that I got in this palette, and so it's back again this year, and I was really excited about that. You've heard me say I really don't like to use a palette if it does not have a black shadow, so I was just super glad to see that they had included one. And so I'm just going to grab my usual eyeshadow brushes. I own 5 million eyeshadow brushes, and I usually use the same 6 every time, which you know if you watch too. Okay, so I'm going to get this out. I really have no clue where we're going with this at the moment, but we will see as we go along. So I'm going to start off by taking this ECRU shade right here. And I'm just going to blend that on first to knock away any stickiness from where we just primed. And actually what I think I'll do is one eye like I normally do, and then we will catch up the other one. So I'm just going to leave this side alone for now, once we've blended that on. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the shade Wheat right here, and I'm going to use that as my transition color. I'm just blending that inner to outer corner. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of start to blend that out a little, so that we can make sure everything is nice and smooth. Okay. Then taking, and that was using my Bare Minerals Lip Line Increase brush. Now I'm going to be taking this brush from Smashbox. I have no clue what the name is, but it comes with the full exposure palette. So I'm going to be taking that and a little bit of this Good Spirit shade right here. This is like a nice, almost a reddish brown, but it's not too red. You could definitely wear it with anything. And I will say in the last year, if you are new to Bare Minerals products or you have tried them in the past and you felt like you didn't love them, in the last year their pigmentation and color payoff has changed significantly, along with the texture. They used to be they were good, but they felt kind of chalky until you blended them on the skin. I don't want to say they weren't good because they were great once you applied them, but like to swatch them, they weren't buttery or anything like that. And now I'm just going back in with this brush just to blend everything, but they weren't very buttery, and now they're more of like a Morphe consistency where they're very creamy. You get a lot when you apply the brush. Like, they have definitely made improvements, and so I'm very impressed with that. Now I'm going to take the blender brush from Bare Minerals and a little bit of this Boardroom shade out here on the outer edge, and I'm just going to begin to work that lightly into the outer corner. And my plan for this look is I want to keep it kind of brown and warm on the upper part, and then we're going to do some silver on the lid just to mix it up. And I feel like that's a really good solid holiday look too, with a nice shimmery silver lid. So I'm just blending a little bit of this. It's blending really well, and I'm trying to be as gentle as I can so that I don't end up with too much. Okay, now I'm going to grab a little bit of Fix Plus, which probably is not necessary, but it's just a personal thing for me that I always prefer to use Fix Plus. And I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals Detail Shader Brush. And so I'm going to spray my brush. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Silver Bells. And I'm going to pack that on to the lid. And I'll probably just speed you guys along because I spend a long time packing because I like for a good shimmer payoff, and that's going to get boring. Wow. I hope it's picking up how beautiful the shade is, but it is gorgeous. So now that we've packed that on the lid, I'm going to go in with the Smoky V brush and start in with that VIP shade, which is the black, and I'm just going to begin to work that into the outer corner. And I'm just going to start low and then just kind of work it in slowly, and I am going to bring it forward and over farther than you would normally see me take it, mainly because my goal is to kind of carve out where the glitter ended a little more and add some more definition. But the majority of the product is going out here on the outer edge, and so I'm just going to continue this process and speed you guys along again. Okay, and so now that I've got that on, I'm going to go back in with the Bare Minerals blender brush, and I'm just going to wipe that off a little and get a pretty good bit of Wheat and Good Spirits, which are the other two we use. And I'm just going to try to like mix those together and make sure everything is nice and blended and smooth. So I'm just going to get that and tap off my brush and just begin to make sure nothing is harsh or uneven. And then taking a little bit more of VIP, and just now that everything is smooth, I'm just going to darken up the outer edge. Okay, and then I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Face and Body Brush, and I'm just going to sweep underneath my eye to catch any fallout that may have occurred. But I think it was pretty minimal, honestly, which is impressive for all the amount of black shadow that I just packed on. So now I'm going to take the lid line and crease brush and the shade Curtsy, and I'm just going to pop that underneath my brow bone and on the inner corner to give a highlight. And this is a pretty stark white shade, so I'm kind of interested to see how it turns out. It's really pretty. It's actually not too much, because sometimes they can be overly bright, but that's just really pretty. And then just highlighting underneath the brows. The brows which I need to have waxed, so ignore that too. And then I always take the other end of the brush and just kind of sweep just a little. Okay, so now let me make sure you guys are in focus. Okay, so now that we've got the shadow completed, I'm going to go in with the Lash Domination ink liner. I have two because I always keep two in my drawer and I can never remember which one is full and which one is not. So we're going to make a wing, and I might have to switch pins in the middle, but I'm just going to wing it out. Okay, and now that I've got that done, I'm just going to hit back over lightly with my foundation brush to make sure I didn't remove anything while I was doing that. And then taking the Bare Minerals Expert Shadow Liner Brush and a little bit of that VIP shade. You all know that I have to go back in to make sure this part is all nice and even, that there's not a gap between my lash line and where my liner started, because that drives me crazy. Okay. And now for the lower lash line, I'm going to start off with this flat liner brush from Sephora. I've had this a million years. I don't know if they still make it, but I'm going to be taking, I'm going to throw everything down is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be taking that Boardroom shade, and I'm just going to start to line and wedge that in down below. This is a nice dark brown. It's like a very chocolatey shade. So I'm really liking it so far. And I'm going to try to keep my head up for you guys, but it's just really hard not to bob your head down while doing this. And please excuse my huffy dog. She's like not happy that I'm doing this instead of doing something with her. And so now that I've got this on, I'm going to go in with the Smoky V brush and the Good Spirit shade. This one right here. And I'm just going to use that color to blend it all out. Okay. And then last but not least, back in with the blender brush and the shade Wheat, and just doing some final smoothing. Make sure we smooth all the way out. Perfect. And now I am going to catch the other side up to speed and go ahead and do my brows while off camera so that I look a little less uneven. And then I'll be back. I'm going to do the brows off camera just because I have a tutorial on that. And you can find that down towards the beginning when I first started if you're interested to see how I do them. But I will be using the Bare Minerals Brow Master Brow Gel, which is my all-time favorite. So I will do all of that, and I will be back with the Brow Master Brow Gel. I'm going to finish up the rest of my face with you guys first, and then I'm going to go in with my Lash Dom Mascara and put some false lashes on. So very exciting for finishing up the face. I have the You Had Me at a Glow kit, which is a pretty accurate story of my life. You really do. I love to have a good glow going on. And so this kit is very similar to the one from last year with the baked, there was a baked, I feel like you guys are kind of crooked, a baked bronzer, blush, and highlighter. So if you picked that up and you loved it, then this one is back, but with even more. So you get 2 highlighters, 2 blush shades, and 2 bronzers, for me anyway. If you had darker skin, you could probably pull that off as a highlighter. All of these are brand new. This is the Invisible Bronze in Dark to Deep. So if you already had that, that would be the same, but everything else is brand new, never before, completely different from last year as well. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of contour before we get into the bronzing. So I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Contour Kit and the Bare Minerals Dual Finish Blush and Contour Brush. I'm going to be going in with shade, and I'm just going to carve out my cheekbones using the dark side. I love the concept of this brush, how you only need one brush. I mean, I can do the whole thing with the dark and the light, all with this one brush. And so I'm just going to blend that and do a little underneath my chin. And then the same thing on this side. And blending it out. I've mentioned this several times, but if you're new, I really like this contour palette. And it's the first thing I felt was comparable to Kat Von D. I feel like I had the Morphe one, and you've seen me use it, and I really like it for the lighter powder shades, but as far as an actual contour shade, this is the only one that has gotten close to the Kat Von D for me because it's a very cool toned color, which I prefer. And so I'm just blending that in and down. And then I'm going to take the Bare Minerals, let's see, crease defining brush will work. And that, using the exact same shade, I'm going to contour my nose. I'm just going to use the majority of the product down the bridge of my nose. Same on each side. Connect them at the very end. Add a little more. And as my brush becomes empty, I'm going to connect that up and into my brow. And I've got a piece of fuzz that keeps floating around. And then a little of the dark shade up on the underside to make the nose appear a little slimmer. So I'm just going to add a little more. Okay, and then taking this pop shade, and I'm just going to blend it out. And you want the sides to be lighter. I see a lot of people use concealer for this part. I just go back in with the powder, but to carve out that. And then we will highlight up the middle, so I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Take the light side of my brush, the same pop shade, help to conceal some of this redness down below. Middle of my forehead, and a little bit underneath the eye. Which is also good in the way we did it, where we've already done our shadow. That kind of helps to clean things up just a little. And I want to make sure brows are in place. Okay, now I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Seamless Shaping and Finishing Brush, and I am going to bronze with the dark to deep. These are pretty sheer, so I feel like even with my fair skin tone where I like a lot of bronzer, I can still pull off the dark to deep pretty easily. So I'm just blending that on in the E or the 3, which I've talked about before, but that's kind of the places where you want to put your bronzer. So you can start here, but then you come down, and then you'll go down like that. And then I'm going to hit just the edges of my nose and add a little extra right in there. Okay. Now taking the Blooming Blush Brush from Bare Minerals, and I am going to use, what do I want to use? I'm going to use Galaxy, which is this middle peachy color. But then I kind of want to do something with that Supernova, so I have an idea. Just bear with me. So this is a really, really pretty peachy color. It's kind of similar to the color I get if you've seen my first review of those Invisible Bronze products. I use the dark to deep highlighter as a blush, and this is kind of similar, just not swirled like the other one is. So I'm going to take that, but then I'm going to take a fan brush from Artist Couture. and a little bit of the Supernova color, and I'm going to blend that on the apples of my cheeks just to see if we can kind of incorporate it in, because the color is beautiful. So I'm just going to blend it in right here on the edge. Because I feel like personally it's too light to bronze and too dark to highlight. So I think just a little pop of it right there and then blending it out will give my blush a little something extra. And it did. So now for a highlight, I want to, I don't know. I haven't used these yet. I think I want to use the lightest one. I really want it to stand out. So I'm going to use that with my Anastasia A23 brush to highlight. And I'm just going to see how it goes. Where these are baked too, you kind of have to swirl and kind of get them going at the very start. But once you begin to get the color payoff, then it'll come each time. But they're just pressed so hard here in the beginning. And I'm going to switch to this Juvia's Place J115, just a little blending brush. I'm going to switch and see if I can really make it more precise. Yeah, now it's working better. Sometimes I think it just turns out much better with a smaller brush. But that is just me. And then I'm going to take a little bit down the bridge of my nose. There we go, and a little on the tip. Cupid's bow. Chin and forehead, I don't really need much, so I'm just going to kind of equally disperse that. And then just to make sure it's even, I'm going back to the A23 brush for the first few passes on this side. And then I will downsize to the smaller brush. Okay, and then now taking the little brush, just to be more precise with it. Okay, and that is really, really pretty. It's a natural highlight, but it's definitely gorgeous, and I'm really glad I used the Galaxy there right on the inner cheek. So I'm happy with how that turned out. So now we need to do our lips, and I'm going to top it with a gloss. I have a new liquid lipstick set here, and you get the liquid lipstick in the shade Naughty, which was pre-existing, but you get a never before seen lip liner called Get It, and it's really different from a lot of the other colors that we have, so it just kind of transforms Naughty into a way that I hadn't seen it look before. So I'm just going to apply this. I'm going to fill my lips in with the lip liner, do the liquid lipstick, and then go back in with the lip liner just to kind of make my lips look a little bit larger. You guys know how I do, and so I'm just going to fast forward you through this application. Okay, so now that we have this liquid lipstick on, I'm going to give it a second to dry before I top it off with gloss. So I'm going to go off camera and do my mascara and pop some lashes on, and I will be back. Okay, you guys, so I did my mascara and popped on some lashes, and I am back and ready to finish up this video. I used my Lash Domination mascara, and I also had forgotten that I wanted to do a black in my waterline, so I added the Round the Clock eyeliner from Bare Minerals in 1am, which is a glittery black shade that was part of last year's Christmas edition. So if you picked that up, you will have this. If not, any plain black will work. And so the last thing I want to open is this little lip gloss kit of the Marvelous Moxies, and it's called Something to Talk About. And I always loved these because they only put the glittery shades in the Christmas ones, and I cannot wait to try this. So I'm going to coat a little bit of this shade called Golden Glaze on top of this lipstick, and then we will be finished. It's beautiful. I hope it's picking up the glitter. Maybe if I turn. I love these. They made a shade similar to this probably like 3 years ago for Christmas. And it's probably one of the only lip glosses I've ever used the entire thing of because I loved it so much. So I'm just going to add a little bit and then fix my hair. And so that will complete this Christmas, well, I hate to say Christmas, and it's so far away, but it'll probably be here before any of us know it. But it is the Christmas makeup collection. So that will complete this holiday look. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and enjoyed getting to see all the new products. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe and please come back for future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.